a beginning. We're looking at how we're starting this particular area from scratch, from blackberry to forest. And this will take around 5 years. That's how long it will take me to establish a possible forest that will go on. So you've got all this blackberry here, and you've got the broom coming up, and down there is all blackberry which we're going to revert to native. Now, to protect this area, we need to keep a barrier. We actually need to protect the area that we're going to plant. So to do that, we need a barrier, and you can't get a better barrier than blackberry.
I agree.
So right through this roadway here, the blackberry is left to grow, and it makes that barrier for wallabies and possums, all that. It doesn't stop them, but it's deterrent, because the wallabies and the possums are more likely to go for this lush green grass. Another barrier I have here is this highway. This highway, the wallabies and possums come across the road, feed on the grass, and get run over by whatever's coming past right now. So we go a lot bit further, and these Australian acacias are also a nurse crop, as the blackberry is. That is a nurse crop, no longer required. Today we're going to talk about the blackberry and how it is. And also we can see that there's cabbage trees coming up through the blackberry. Now under this blackberry there's a lot of dormant seeds and plants that are not getting sufficient light. So today what we're going to do, we're going to cover track and open up this area, and then we're going to give it a light spray, and then we're going to leave it. This particular hedge shears are excellent for cutting blackberry back, and this of course is the big Bertha that does the physical side, which keeps me fit. Right, so we're going to start off, and you'll watch what I do. I just cut these, and it's dead easy. Cut myself a line, not very wide, not very wide at all. This is only an access line. Just cut like this through here, and we'll keep on going, and we'll just go straight through. Normally we would cut a straight line, and then another one 6 meters further over. So once we've done that, I'll show you. It's very easy to do, and you can actually just tramp it down, and you'll find that the track forms quite quickly. Quite quickly it will form. Any plants like this that need a bit of assistance at time, you will clear around them so they'll release them. The plants that have always been there. And there are many other plants under here, both native and introduced, that are dormant for lack of light. And we're going to open this up now. Now the first thing we're going to do is, once that's done, either spray. It's the only time we use spray Roundup very sparingly. So what we do is, in spring, when the first growth comes onto these, about 6 inches of new growth, we will give this one sweep across. One sweep only one. What we don't want is to spray to affect the plants that are dormant under there. So by doing that, the spray does not reach the ground. So 2 months later, these will die. They don't die completely because we're only making light to get in. And the reason why we don't want the blackberries to disappear completely is this is also a herbivored barrier. They don't particularly like going in there, so this gives the trees protection. Now if I want to go in, and I'll give you a demonstration right now, if I want to go in with my boots on and my leggings, and I can just go like that, I can step over, and I can make a bit of a hole which can plant my tree. Now, could you just pass me that yellow slide? I'm going to put a plant here, and this will have it all over. I can just walk through and do this. I then put it in, and then I put one of these in as a marker. Now, I'll always be able to find that even though the blackberry comes up. So they'll be in places like this, and that will be, as I say, you can just walk through this stuff, knock it down, and make your own track. Spray again, expose all this stuff. That's how it's done. by using blackberry as a nurse crop. It's not the enemy as everybody thinks it is. It's so valuable to us. Conservationists, most people don't like using Roundup, but unfortunately they find it a necessity to do so. So they spray the whole area and kill the lot. So what happens then, again, and you plant your trees and you've created a smorgasbord of food for herbivores to come in and eat because they've got no restriction. And when this blackberry's gone, the moisture in the ground also goes. So then you've got a very dry area. Whereas as the way we do it, or I do it, the moisture's always there. So when spring comes around again, what comes up first? All the blackberry, the new blackberry where you've just sprayed last year. But if the blackberry hasn't been touched like that, the only areas you have to look after is where that one tree is. And that broom up there is another excellent nurse crop, even though it's cried down because, we'll talk about that a little later. Oh no, we'll do it now. Because broom has around about 3 to 4 years before it turns to wood, that green. But in there now, you'll not notice it, but there's a lot of natives coming up that have been put in there. And what that's doing is keeping this moist ground underneath. And you don't even have to cut your broom back. Although when it first grows, you have to go through and separate, make some gaps for your trees. That's another way of doing it that's very simple. Now I'd like to speak about grass. This was rather a farm. This was a farm one time. And really, it's probably worse than blackberry because there's no protection at all because every animal wants to feed on grass. And one of the best things I find here are actually pigs that come and turn it all over for me. They don't really go into that stuff much, but they'll turn all that over. So I only had the odd pig, but really it's grass is more of a curse than the blackberries. But all they have to do is pull this stuff around the plant and make it into a nice. You know? You have to pour some more in until you've got it protected. Animals don't want to go in there. Great. We have some seed here that's collected on this flock, and what we're going to do is we're going to see what sort of seed it is, because what we're going to do some broadcasting seed in the area that's been prepared. And the idea of this is to add to the existing plants that are already under there. Now this one is rice bush grass. Rice bush grass is, animals don't like it. It's a very good understory stuff, but it's no good for that area, but good for where you've already got overwood. So we won't do that one. We'll do this one, the one we're looking for, and this is called Carex sector. Carex sector, and it's a grass, and it's a grass that grows in damp soil. So what we're going to do out here, this is a damp area, so we're going to introduce these seeds by what we call seed bombing. Now seed bombing is when we normally get some clay or something else, alright, and then I'll just take a bit out of my hand, and then we've got all this seed, you see. So what we're going to do, we'll get this dampish ground and we're going to mix it with the dirt. Because what I'm trying to do here is form bonds. It needs to be a bit wetter than this, but you get the idea. And I'll just see if I can work it in and mix it all up like that. All like that, mixing it up into that soil. But ideally I could do with a little bit of water to make it into a dough, but we haven't got that now, but we will show you how this works. Now if we come back down here, come back to the blackberry again. Oh, there we are. We're going to get some water, aren't we? There's water in here. And grass, make use of nature. Just make use of nature, give it a bit wet. So it sticks. See, it's starting to stick now. Starting to get into blobs. So I want some more water. More water in there. Work it some more. Get real dirty here. And we're getting it to stick together. Okay? So once we've done that, the area has been sprayed. The area has been sprayed. So what do you think I'm going to do now? I'm going to broadcast this seed. And the idea is this will hold together.
Little balls.
Little balls like that. And I'm just going to throw them out. I'm just going to throw them out there. All over the place. Okay? And they're going to sit in that damp ground there. And what do you think's going to happen?
That's interesting.
Eh? Alright? And I broadcast a lot of seed this way. Especially tawa is a very good one. So this is what we do. From now on, there can be no spraying unless really controlled. Because you've planted all the seed, you must leave it alone so it becomes more physical. Now, there's nothing wrong with leaving the blackberry to grow. Just clear around the plants that you've got with your hedge clippers. Just don't worry about the other, because that's acting as your nurse crop. That is actually protecting. So do not spray again unless you really have to, because you don't want any of that poison going to the ground to kill all the work you've already done. See how I keep that? We spread this out. We bought this from Jewish people. We bought this, and it comes from friends of mine. See, in town in the autumn, or everywhere in town, all these leaves start falling from northern hemisphere trees. There's very few deciduous trees, native trees in New Zealand, one or two. So these ones here from the parks or the gardens are what we get. And I also distribute bags around to like these types of bags, which are wool sacks from farms, which you can get them for $5 each.
Yeah, because they're cheap. Yeah.
And that's ideal.
Yeah.
These are lightweight, and you can fill up that bag and you cut them out here. I pick them up from my friends' places after they've filled them, and I bring them out here, and we're suppressing this grass.
To get all of it gone.
Yeah.
Oh, to get all of them gone, yeah.
Yeah. So what normally happens here, if we didn't put leaves here, if I wanted to plant something, what would normally happen?
They would go like...
No, it'd compete with the grass, won't it?
Yeah.
And the grass, of course, is something that animals will eat. So all you're doing is sucking in the animals, not only eat your plants, but the grass as well. There's nothing much for them to eat in here.
Yeah.
Is there? No spray.
No.
Perfect. The forest in the making.
Yeah.
So now we spoke the other day about broom and how good it is and how you shouldn't cut it all down. You thin it out, okay, because it's acting as a nurse plant. Here's a typical example where this broom here, if you have a look at this now, all this broom now has been thinned out, and you'll see this area is about, I don't know, 3 years old. And you can see all those cabbage trees, which we planted these cabbage trees initially in the blackberry. So that's what we've got now. They're coming away, they're putting their heads to the sky, and the broom's still there. Now why is it still there? It's acting as a nurse plant, keeping the ground moist, right? Moist, and we'll go inside now and have a look how we're achieving this, how we're going to plant. If you grab that bucket over there and bring that to us. Now, Tiffany, what we're going to look at now, we've thinned out in here, and you see how we've cut all this down. We haven't really done, we just cleared underneath and dropped everything.
Yeah.
All right? You'll also see where that punga is there, that cabbage tree's growing well.
Yeah.
But what we're going to do now, that's all we do. So what we do now is, I can think about planting things. Now, we don't want to, in any way, all right? That's what we're going to do. We're not going to set those down, no way. Because that's going to, see, all we're going to do is make a hole in here, even with my boot, and we're going to plant the tree in there. Okay? That's going to go there. Not today, but it can sit there, because we'll build up a whole lot to put in and have a planting day. All right? See the lights coming on there? See how the light's coming in on there? That will glow those guys up there. If the broom hadn't been thinned, it would be too dark in here.
Then it wouldn't grow as well.
And also, if we take the broom out, the area dries out too much in the summer.
Yeah.
Now these broom have only got about another year, maybe 18 months before they'll die anyway. They just become sticks. Meantime, these are guys up here. Okay? So whether you want to put a berry tree, and again, we'll just what we do here, just let me in a bit more, and come around here, and then we'll put another one over here, not too close, but we'll just put another one in there, okay? And we do this whole thing throughout here. Once we plant them in September, here's hold, grab that quite part of that thing for me. This is New Zealand's tallest tree, Kahikatea, which is a European name, they call it white pine.
Kahikatea.
Yeah, it's Kahikatea. It's a white pine. It's a plant that you'll find around New Zealand because it wasn't very valuable as a timber tree, because it rots too easy. They tried to make boats out of it, they tried all sorts of things. No good as a building material, so that's why there's still a lot of stands around. There's one area in New Zealand down the Wairarapa where there was, I think it was about a 90-mile stretch of just these, fully mature. You know what happened to them?
Died out.
They cut them down to make farmland, to plant grass.
Wow.
Unfortunately, we did that sort of thing. But we are, well, not only me, but we are now thinking differently. This guy's, I like them to be about 900 tall, but that's no worry. Again, we'll just put them down in a bit of blackberry, like come down in here, just there, and all I do is make a bit of a hole in here, and we put it in there. And, right, so I just got to do something else here. I just got to get a couple of marking sticks, because how can I ever find that in 12 months' time?
You can't.
How do I go
unless you have like a yellow stick.
Yeah, I'm going to go and get that. So I'm just going to get a yellow stick. All sorts of stuff will come up. So I put that, and each one is marked. So it doesn't matter how big, see it's bright, and that will be the same. And I'll put, especially in here, I'll put this one down in here because I need to find it. So, because it's not going to be like this. There'll be a blackberry coming, all sorts of stuff will come up. Right, and now finally, this blackberry has not been cleared on the other edge. Why do you think that is? That is to stop,
Animals.
discourage
And like
anything going in there, whether it's human or animal or whatever. So it gives that area protection. And where we've got in here, we will actually break that off with fallen blackberry. We'll actually take some blackberry from somewhere else and put it there. And leave that alone. Keep away.
yeah.
Okay? I can walk away from that for a year. That's now 3 years old. This is an area where we nip the blackberry back, we cut it back just to let enough light in, and we let the broom grow, and we actually walk through and pull the odd broom out to make sure we had some spacing. Now, this is now 3 years old, and you can see the native trees there coming through, that coprosma there, and you've got other trees coming through that you're not seeing now, but once I start clearing the area, these stakes we had here, this stake here, marked, yep, the same as down the bottom. Now, if you look closely, you'll actually see there's a kawhai in here. There's actually a kawhai that needs to be released. And there it is. So, our loss rate is virtually none. Virtually none. And all types of species are here. Now, we're going to have a look now, as we move back through here, of we have done some release cutting to give you an idea what we've got. So this is what we've got now, and then over here you've got we've got a tea toki, a beautiful little tea toki, a little kanuka. So the broom is no longer here. It's no longer here, although we still leave some to encourage these guys to reach for the light. This is only 3 years old. The only unfortunate thing about this is, while it was like that, you didn't have to worry about pests so much. But now that we've opened it up to pests. So we're forced to start trapping possums. We're forced to do that. So the work, this is the only time I really start to do this. I don't sort of worry too much about rats at this stage, but it's the possums that will do the lot of damage. The rats will come later as these trees here start to attract birds and the seed. So at the present time there's no seed here at the stage. But I can assure you another year or so, 18 months, some of these plants will have seed on them, or berries. I don't want this one eaten because I haven't got many others. Oh, look at that! Look at the quality of the soil now. Beautiful, beautiful. So we've got this perfect situation. I'll just level this up a bit, and what I will do, we will. I'll just wiggle that down. Down. Yep. 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 Now we get spikes. Put some spikes in here. This isn't only 10 pounds. And then push it right down. And go on the other side. That is normally enough for me to say, well, that's safe. They'll push against it and they don't, you know, unless they're something big like a wallaby, but I don't seem to have any of those. But we will leave it like that. If I do get a problem with it, I'll put a stake beside it. But in the past, I've never not to do so. Now, this area we're looking at now, it will be left to grow. We'll make an occasional visit just to make sure, you know, something's not taking over or something needs staking or something else. But generally speaking, this is an area 3 years. So in 2 years, you know, we'll have some polycarp floral in here by then. We are going to plant a totu today. It might even be a little larger, but this will do fine. And we're going to put in a gap in the middle here amongst these canopy continue to grow, and this guy will follow them. Now let's just a little bit of stuff here. Excellent soil. Excellent. It takes you just sort of offer it to make sure it's not too deep. Probably put a little bit back in there. That's not bad. And then I just find that it's not root bound in any way. These are grown by myself in my own nursery. And even if the soil breaks away, so it's got a nice root there. So we're going to just put him in there, put him down, put some dirt down. Don't disturb him, I don't need to. Not root down in any way. That's what we'll do. So, and what I'll do then is to discourage anything from scratching in the loose dirt later on. I'll just put some stuff there. There, just to discourage any animal from digging, and then I'll put this in there. That's what we'll do, and this is what we're going to do through here, pike, totara, this winter.